All right, what's poppin', YouTube? Been a minute, but we've been banking over here. Long and short, short and long. We've been getting after it. Um, so yeah, I wanted to just do an update, break some things down, see where some things stand here. Um, so again, we'll start with the King Spy. So this is the Spy Daily, which I can't remember when I last streamed. I think it was like right around here, one of these days. And then since then, of course, we shit. Then I had the biggest like update ever. So we're going back and forth. Well, price is basically respecting a 50% fib here, which if we go to the 1 hour on the SPY, we can essentially check it out. Where price is now basically, if you pull from this low to this high, price bounced right off that 50% fib, which what I use in my trading are Fibonacci's, moving averages, and other things. So kind of like right there where price, we gapped down to start the day, and then where did the buyer step in? Right at the support. So I got long here today, just for some swing trades or day trades, scalps or what have you, because there's still a lot of gaps and drama to fill, and it's tough to establish anything because a fucking random tweet could move the markets dramatically, and you don't want to be caught offside. So you got to just be tactical, pick your spots and what have you until this fucking settles down. We do have some VPOCs up here. Again, I talk about this. So the price, once we get rallying, we should tag here or here or here. Those will act like magnets on SPY. The trend is still down. We're still below all the moving averages. So we're not really bullish. This big day is nice. This could be a bull trap. I don't know. But I think we may just chop around, or like I've been saying, I think the 5,900, 6,000 area will be tested to the long side. I don't know when, of course, but with these fucking 3 to 5% moves intraday, we could be there any minute. So yeah, that's basically SPY. It bounced again. Where else it bounced off of? Which I guess I can show you a cleaner SPY. Is right off the fib. So if I draw this fib from this low to this high, not everything's the same and not everything's perfect, but you can see how where did the selling stop, and we bounce right around the fib. It's just how they work. I don't know why. I don't care why. So I use them in my trading. So I also got long a bunch of stuff down in here on that day. Deep out of the money calls on Mag 7, many different names over here. I got long out of the money calls, because with like 6 months to a year, because these are all beaten up stocks. They keep getting beaten up. Today they got beat up, but yesterday they rallied. So it's just we're going up and down and go nowhere. So if you're a long-term trader, you're just waiting. If you're a tactical trader, you're loving this with high volatility, high VIX. So again, SPY. I don't really have a bias. I just been waiting. From obviously I want to get long, but I'm using deep out of the money calls, so I can't get stopped out. Very little risk, because I don't want to be loading the boat here until we get some more context. And look at where we closed today. There's a lot of activity right here at this area, 525, which was the prior high, the retest, and now we broke below it, broke above it, and now we're just loitering around there. 525 is going to be an important level. So again, don't really have a bias here on SPY, but technically we do have a low here, we have a higher low, and we have a higher low. So this is the start of an uptrend, but you really want to see that happen on the daily. When you get a move like this and a pullback is when it'll be time to buy again, on the daily charts, which we don't have that. But I'm talking like if we get something where we start to come back, rally up, boom, a break up, and then pull back, and then boom. That's what we want to see. Basically this, something like up, down, right here, up, down, above the faster moving averages as well as the key. Something like that is what I'll be watching for. And I don't know when we'll get it, but we definitely are still oversold. And again, of course, the Mac Daddy stocks, NVDA and Tesla. So NVDA I've also been buying because it hit my buy target. NVIDIA may go down to NVIDIA, whatever the fuck. It may even want to go down to the 60 handle or 50 handle, which would be insane. If that were to happen, that would be rather let me clean this up. Rather insane. But again, another note on the fibs. If you take this low right here to this high, I mean, where did NVIDIA pull back? You could draw these in advance because you don't know about this happening. You just know from here to here. You know, there is some technical art or what have you. You know, when to buy the when to draw the fibs and how. You know, but that's not very hard to pick up. You know, if you just practice. So again, NVIDIA looks just like the indexes, where it went down, went up to go nowhere. So I really don't have a bias on this one either. There's a downtrend line here that it should hit its head on. Let me get rid of this. There's this uptrend line here that it broke. So now, you know, I kind of sometimes extend these just to know where we stand. So NVIDIA should definitely, if it keeps rallying, should run into some resistance right around here. And that's just because of the trend lines. And then you could also draw the Fibonacci here as well and see. You know, so again, above 130, I will be a buyer with both hands on NVIDIA. And then again, if this low breaks, you know, I'm not going to sell anything because I have plenty of time. I don't care. And my risk is in check. I'll just average in. But if it breaks 90 or 80, this bad boy could go again to 50, which again, while I say that, it lines up with right here, all these lines. You know, so it could want to take a stop at this level. And then this would just be generational buying up. Generational buying opportunity right there is what we'll call that. And I'll just put this in white. So if NVIDIA breaks this low, which again, it's probably gonna, I don't know when, that means it's gonna head to 50, and that would be an amazing buy. If we draw this fib right here, and again, this is the low to the high, to the low. And if price hit up here, it got up here, and now if it gets up here, which is right around this resistance, if this pulls back, here are the targets, which is about 65, and again, 40. So 50 area. So this is what I use to know when to take exits on gains, you know, when to stop out or when to reduce risk or what have you. So also that lines up with that area. So this $50 NVIDIA, it could be on the table. If 80 fails, for sure, it'll get there quick probably. And then we'll be good. Which that will be more tariff drama. Who knows what will be the accelerant or the deciding factor. I don't care. I don't trade off news. Doesn't matter. So NVIDIA going up, going down, kind of sideways. We'll see what we get here in the coming days and week. And then lastly, we'll look at Tesla, which is, you know, everyone loves Tesla, right? All the Democrats, they love Tesla. They wanted to go green. Now we're fucking using coal and burning Tesla, environmental group. So yeah, that's like Waltz logic over there, liberal logic. So Tesla has this downtrend line here that, of course, it broke during the election bullshit, just like crypto, and then came right back to reality. And now it tried to go lower, bounced, tried to go lower again, and bounced. So this is like a nice double bottom here on Tesla. But I want to see what it does after it gets above this area, which I'm assuming Tesla's going to pull one of these where it'll get up here, pull back, and then go. And if so, that's what I will be pressing all my long delta or Tesla calls and other stuff. Because if this is going to happen, that means SPY is going to go up, QQQ will go up, everything will pretty much go up, you know, at that point in time if this is going up. It's just how it works. And while I say that, it doesn't have as much in the SPY or the Qs, but Tesla does hold a lot of weight. It's in this one. It's not a semi, but again, Tesla and NVIDIA are the top two most traded, you know, stocks, or definitely options that I track every day. So, so again, NVIDIA, no man's land still for me yet. I am getting some long delta, but that could fall apart at any minute. Tesla, I'm also long calls as well, but again, waiting to see what's going to happen. And I don't mind overpaying, because I'm so far in time. So the VIX today tried to go higher and then just sold off, basically when the markets rallied. But the VIX is making a high, a lower high, and a lower high, which is good if you're a bull. You don't want this going up. You want this to revert to its mean, which I think it's gonna. I also shorted some VIX via UVXY, meaning I want this to go down. So if this goes down, I'll get paid. If this goes up, that means stocks are going to be going down dramatically. So again, VIX is pulling back. Vol on vol is holding up but closed at its lows. So again, the fear is diminishing out there. We'll see if it continues. So some other assets I trade besides stocks and ETFs and equities. Again, I trade commodities, fixed income, Forex, what have you, name it. Which if we look at the dollar is shitting. I don't know if it's going to last much longer. I think it's about to come into a big support zone and rally, but we'll see. Bitcoin doing absolutely nothing, which is shocking. TLT, which everyone was scared about, this or that, which this is very important. If TLT gets under here like I have it labeled, it's not going to be good for stocks. And then a quick reference, this going up equals that, it's going down equals that. So if it's dropping, that means we have inflation scares, which if we look at TBT, which is basically the same thing as the 10-year yield, this is also, this looks like it's about to break out and go higher, not lower. Of course, again, with all the fucking news and tweets, anything could happen. But this is not, this is bullish. And then again, like the fibs, you could draw this fib up here. It's semi-dirty that it's traded. Sometimes you have that with the volatility. But again, it kind of, holds up where that if this fib trades, we should hit 42 or, 45 area, which would mean yields are going up. US 10-year would be ripping at that point. Which here's the 10-year zoomed out. Essentially, you could see it's like basing right here. Semi-flag rectangle pattern. But again, this can correct hard, of course, but this type of technical pattern, it looks more bullish than bearish here, which that would mean higher yields. Trump isn't getting what he wants. He tried to get it for a few, but it went from 3.8 back up to 4.5 almost, very quickly. So there's going to be remaining volatility, until we get all this shit figured out. Another market I've traded is oil, which I was long this. I'm still long this. I'm adding here. I'll have to cut it if that's it. But it's interesting because just like everything else, oil took a spill and then came back, and now it's just trading. Looks just like the stocks. Everything looks the same. But again, waiting for more information on this because this was a nice pattern. It broke out of. If it can't get above here, then I may hedge my longs near term or cut them and reestablish, or maybe even go short if oil wants to get back down like it did here when it went negative. Remember when oil went negative, which was the future? That was crazy. So anyways, we'll see what we're going to get. Semi-long video. I'm going to try to keep them shorter, cover main things. Any questions, holla. Good luck out there. Manage that risk. Peace.